But let's of course start with what is happening in South Korea. It's been nothing less than a historic day in South Korea's politics. The speculation around the ousted President Yoon's future has now been put to rest. In what was a unanimous decision, South Korea's Constitutional Court has upheld Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment.
The benefit gained by dismissing the respondent overwhelmingly outweighs the national losses resulting from the president's impeachment. Therefore, I issue the ruling with a unanimous opinion. Because this is an impeachment case, I will confirm the time of the verdict. It is 11:22 a.m. order. Respondent President Yoon Suk Yeol is impeached.
Now, thousands eagerly were waiting on the streets of Seoul. They broke into tears, applause and celebrations as soon as they heard the verdict. Now, the Constitutional Court ruled that Yoon's declaration of martial law on the 3rd of December last year violated the country's constitution as it obstructed the National Assembly's authority. The court further said that Yoon did not merely declare martial law, but actually went on to commit acts that violated the constitution and the law. Now, soon after the ruling, Yoon Suk Yeol apologized. The impeached president expressed his regret and heartbreak for failing to meet the expectations. Now, the opposition also welcomed the verdict, saying that it is the people who have reclaimed the country.
All of us in the political sphere, including myself, must reflect deeply and feel the weight of this responsibility. I will do my best to ensure that the tragedy of violating the Constitution is never repeated and that politics becomes a source of hope for the people and the nation.
Now, the law states that elections need to be held within 60 days. The authorities have lowered the presidential flag at the office of the president, signaling a new chapter in South Korea's political landscape. And amidst heightened security, officials will also be taking down the portraits of Yoon to be shredded or to be burnt. Now, according to law, the court's decision has now set in motion a critical presidential race that is expected to be held by June.
South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol was removed from office Friday by the Constitutional Court. The decision sets up a presidential election within 2 months, probably in early June. The frontrunner is Yoon's arch-rival, liberal opposition leader Lee Jae-myung. Yoon was impeached for his actions on December 3rd when he imposed martial law, something that hadn't been done in South Korea since the 1980s when the country was ruled by military strongmen. Yoon says the actions were necessary because the liberal opposition, which controls parliament, were blocking his efforts to stop North Korean and Chinese interference in South Korean democracy. Opponents say he was trying to deflect attention from corruption investigations into his wife and him. South Korea is deeply divided between liberals and conservatives, and that split is likely to get worse as presidential election campaigning heats up.
And the reactions of the South Korean people, of course, were mixed. They poured on to the people after the court's verdict on Yoon's impeachment. Listen in.
I started crying at the beginning of the sentence, and then I started crying a lot.
As a citizen, I cannot accept today's ruling. They ruled 8.0 unanimously against Yoon. And the reason many people here did not expect such result was that the trial proceeded hastily. The president's right to defense was not properly guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's because the impeachment passed, but the judge said everything about what people want. That's what we have been told. So I'm so proud of our country, the Constitution. I'm very, very proud of.
With today's verdict, freedom in South Korea is dead once again. This is what I think.
I know that the state of martial law caused a lot of economic and cultural damage. So in that regard, I think it is fortunate that the impeachment was upheld. However, it is unfortunate that during such a politically chaotic time in South Korea, this development might add further chaos.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.